Last video we compared with Ableton, the section, a little bit with Cubase. In this video we're going to enter more in the meat and potato of the advantages of using Reason. Let me be clear, it is great to record, to play MIDI in live, left and right recording, FL Studio. So here we're going to start to focus on Reason. There's an optimal setup which includes buying a specific MIDI keyboard. The cost combined equals approximately live and push 3. Reason with the optimal setup became very powerful. I will show you the setup. I have the said MIDI keyboard and we're going to work on it for the rest of all the video. And with the optimal setup, I think it can become a lower cost option over time rather than buying gear and gear, again, to focus with one let's say MIDI keyboard for all. We'll view the recording, the automation, very fast again with the MIDI keyboard, slice editing, take editing, lots of take, easy to cook after. Vocal editing, Melodyne is basically in Reason. When we're not using the MIDI keyboard, the players, very quick MIDI to audio drag and drop also. The template for inspiration at the end, by changing device, we can get started in like 5 minutes. And the rack as a song starting point when using the MIDI keyboard. Very fun to use the rack as the song starting point. Define what is the optimal setup with the specific MIDI keyboard, and let's compare also the alternative. The MIDI keyboard to use is the Nectar Panorama. Basically, I'm not sponsored, or it's really just you see the logo, Reason logo. Everything is super deeply integrated. It is with other DAW, but for the sake of this series, it will be with Reason. Amazing keyboard, by the way, beautiful keyboard. The pan, the width, the faders, the solo, the mute, the buttons here follow the DAW, the VST in the rack, the play, stop, motorized fader here. That's amazing. If we compare the price at the time of recording, the equivalent for live will be the MK361 Keylab with 12 pads and faders, 600 compared to 724 on this one. You also need to buy the DAW, let's say. It is 600 for Reason and a bit more, 749 for the live version, but you also need in Reason to buy the players. You have players, but you have 6 of them. So to put your idea quickly, for the optimal setup we're talking, whether you have the MIDI keyboard or not, you need to buy the chord sequencer and a few other maybe enabled turns. So overall, it's a bit more price. First, we're gonna see the keyboard in full view with the visual meter, the different section. I'll explain then the mixer, the control will have Reason and the keyboard side by side. Then we'll zoom out. There's advantages of having Reason in 3 screen, in my opinion. The DAW, I mean, not the plugin, using the full DAW. And from there, we're gonna zoom Reason in full view for the rest of the video. With this keyboard, it's the other half of the optimal setup for Reason. Like any MIDI keyboard, you can use the piano roll and even the pads and all the instruments that you load in VST, but the mixer section will follow everything in Reason all the time, panning, width, solo, mute, control, any transport operation, any knob is mapped to all the device, not only one. So it follow everything in Reason all the time in real time. The automation, motorized fader, everything is made for Reason. The button mixer transport. Let me show you. So everything in Reason will appear as information in the middle. Every button, mixer, transport, and mixer, instrument, transport, view, it's all dedicated to Reason. So again, with this keyboard, it is optimal with Reason. When you buy a MIDI keyboard, most people still don't use it. I see everyone pretty much still use the MIDI keyboard or enter a chord or 2, and that's it for the MIDI keyboard. With Reason, the optimal setup allows to save time by using the fader in the mixer, the panning, the solo, the effect, the manipulation, the sequencer movement. We can all do that with the mixer. And of course, you need to kind of teach yourself to use the MIDI mixer when you bought one. Again, a lot of people, even the most experienced, will still use mouse and regular keyboard because they find it it's faster for them. So there is no right or wrong way to do it. Just to keep in mind when you have a MIDI keyboard, even when you have an optimal setup, you need to teach yourself to use it to fully appreciate the advantages. So in this setup, the section transport here show the sequencer. As you can see on the screen, you can move your track with the button left and right. It will always follow. If you want to go see your effect, your VST, you type on instrument and view. It will switch to the instrument view. Make sure that you're on the Reason software when you use a MIDI keyboard. Then you press the mixer. You can press view. It will switch to the mixer and you go back and forth. You can zoom the application, which is useful if you're working a little bit far for your screen, which I do. So 140 is a good one in my case. Let me zoom. On the rack so you'll see better. So on the rack, this is the same thing. When you move, it will appear on the screen either at the top or the bottom for the rack where you are. And any knob that you will use where you are already mapped. Again, not just for one device, but for all device and any channel and rack effect of the SSL emulation mixer in Reason. So to use fully those advantages, you really need this keyboard, in my opinion. I don't know anyone else, any other keyboard that map all the section in the device automatically. So for example, here you can move track again, and any button, you can see the knobs on the screen. If I move, you will see the octave button changing on the screen. You should see it. And if I move up higher, you will see the button. The same button is automatically mapped to another one. I can move multiple knobs at the same time and they will move on the screen, as you can see. And really well made for that. So you're saving time by adjusting your filter here at the same time that you play. You're saving time by visualizing everything. And also it's a different experience. You need to want to use a keyboard and do your change a little bit more in real time. Reason offer an emulation of the SSL as the mixer. So it's kind of great that we can use all the control of all the stripe all the time. If you look at the screen, you will see the faders, and look on the corner. I can move all faders at the same time if I want. It's just an extreme example. So you see the volume, and also the automated slider will always follow the track selected. And again, we record automation with this fader, with the variables. So the faders always working all the time, whether you have 5 or 500 channel. This is like having a mini console here, because you don't need to map them all the time at each time to each of your VST. It's again always here. You can see the panning at the top, the width. If I go to send one, you can see the send one button moving. 2, 3, 4. You can see the line 4 now moving. 6, 7, 8. I go with the panning. You can see the panning now moving just above the faders. I'll go back with the width. You can see the little blue width knob moving. And it's extremely quick, well integrated, and fast. If I move up to show you the comp dynamic and EQ, the knob that we saw a few seconds ago, it's the same. If I go in my mixer and I go in dynamics, I can turn on, as you can see the button turn on. Same thing for the comp, the gate, should I say. So here you can see the knob moving again, the 3 green knob. Then you will see the red knob moving. And it's the same for every section of the mixer. At each time you move and navigate, if you want the EQ, this time you will see the EQ button working, the on and off. Here you will see the blue and left button working. You can have a bell, high shelf, and this is amazing for interacting in real time with what you're doing. And also, honestly, to save a little bit of time, because when you want to adjust, you adjust your volume right there. You can solo. And if you, yes, we are on the mixer, we can solo and mute certain track, same way that we will do with the mouse and regular keyboard. So it's saving time, it's fun, it makes us feel in full control, tactile of our musical piece. And again, I think it saved time because every control is so well integrated with this specific MIDI keyboard that you actually use your MIDI keyboard to change the option. Most of the time, people don't use their MIDI keyboard that much because it's a little bit of a pain MIDI mapping every control, and it's often for one, or even if you have an MP for the number of channel that the output can send, so you're often limited to 1, 2, or 4. In this case, it's auto-mapped all the time to all channel, to all mixer, so it is really incredible with that. And also, the more you use it, the more you realize you're actually saving time because you can group, you can bus, you can move, you can cut, you can loop, you can track everything on this with the screen super quickly. All right, quick comparison with the other SSL Stripe. The Reason mixer is based on the SSL 9000 emulation. So it's really transparent, a little bit less color than the other channel Stripe, and I think it's great. So you can see, for example, the inversion here, invert phase here, the gain, the section, the comp section with 3 knobs. It's almost even divided with the same type of layout with the little bars here. So it's really the same. The 2 black here, same thing, same thing, same thing, exactly. Almost the same. The fader at the end, pretty much. So there's even more, I think, with the Reason because it came as a DAW. So you have the insert, the return. You can edit your master effect and bypass them per channel. So that's kind of great. There's also a master compressor, but I'd say that people don't really use it. They use another type of compression where they master their song in Reason. I'd say that Reason is really good to create beat and mix, and for mastering, maybe other dot, to be honest, you push that on the Reaper and you go from there. But to create and up to the, I'd say, final mix, to be honest, because of this is so great. You can add also other things, other effect, other even EQ, of course, on each track if you want to add a little bit more color. But for the sake of it, for most of it, even if you need to sidechain, to compress, the EQ is great in Reason. Super transparent, again, no color at all, no color for the channel Stripe. So, but of course, it gives, when you push things, it gives colors, of course. But if we compare to the other one, let's say, super transparent, and also always automatic. Last point, Reason in split screen. There is an advantage to use Reason in split screen due to the fact that a Reason rack and the Reason mixer is so well made. I'm not sure people really use mixer in some other popular DAW except sliding a slider in the arrangement section. So in Reason, it is very fun to use the 3 screen for the DAW. Let me show you. I think you should see now. Let me move on. So this is the 3 screen setup. Here, there, and there. So you can put your mixer on one screen, your effect on one screen, and your basically sequencer on one screen, which is wonderful. It feels like in a studio with the previous control of this specific MIDI keyboard. I recommend a stand for the MIDI keyboard because, again, people often never have a stand, so they want to work up, but their MIDI keyboard is on the table, so they don't use the MIDI keyboard. They sit down, I mean. So yeah, a stand for the keyboard, very nice. And I think we're gonna end this there because it's already 10-15 minutes. The next video, we're gonna jump in the different automation, slice, take, vocal. I think there's a big advantages for Reason. It's a bit slept on or kind of weird take made over the years. There is no ceiling with Reason. You can really go far with your beat. I think in some other DAW, either there's a texture, everything sounds the same, or there's kind of a ceiling with the beat that you can make. So Reason is really the crazy kid out there that you can go far above and beyond the other DAW. So thanks again, everyone. So again, 3-screen setup, best with Reason. And see you soon for the next video. Bye, guys. Peace.